Good morning, everybody. Welcome to MLS Monday. We've got an exciting topic today with artificial intelligence, and a lot that we're going to go over and talk about today with regards to it as it pertains to organized real estate, multiple listing services, your customers, and much more. So as we get started here, we do have the video disabled for audio, etc. But you can ask questions under the Q&A. So on the bottom of your screen where it says Q&A, just go ahead and click that. Put your questions in as we go, and we'll get those answered for you as we go through the process this morning. I want to start out with just kind of talking about, in general, artificial intelligence and kind of where it's going. And it's interesting because it's been around for a long time. They used to call it machine learning. And just recently with ChatGPT in the last couple of years, Copilot and some others, that this thing has actually gained a lot of traction. And when we talk about AI, I talk a lot about the Gen AI as it pertains to real estate and some of the things that are able to be done with it. And to give you some examples of kind of where the industry is going as a whole, and then diving into some of the tools that we currently have and some of the things that we're looking at to help with regard to your business. AI is being used a lot in real estate today, and we'll talk about some of those applications. But first and foremost, it's got better forecasting. So a lot of the big data companies are using what they have to forecast housing markets, where are things going. So AI is, smart AI is very intelligent, and you can dump a bunch of data into it, and it will tell you where the market's going based on all the historical trends it's got. So if you built an AI platform that would actually ingest the data going back, let's say, for 50 years in a city, and knowing, some of the things that go on with the economy and shifts in different things, that AI could give you a lot of predictive information based on historical trends. So there's some big data companies using that right now. But let's talk a little bit about some of the innovations as it pertains to real estate. The biggest thing that I've seen in real estate in the last year is a lot of chatbots and smart chatbots on websites for both agents and brokers that are there to answer questions about property specifically or about the buying process. So you can leverage that on your actual website. There's companies out there that offer chatbots on websites, and you train it on how you want those questions answered. But that provides a 24/7, 365 customer service platform. And what we're building today in the multiple listing service is just that. We're building it on the backs of a software that's well known called Zoho. It is got basically for us, it's going to be our ticketing system, but it's going to have some effects of chat bot type of activity, so that if you've got a question and it's a holiday, we're closed, or you got a question at night about something, it's not only going to be able to answer your questions on the chat bot, but it's also going to be able to provide you with some white papers, whatever documentation may be held in that system about whatever question is you have. So the cool thing about AI is you got to train it. So that's in the process we're working on now. But for example, if a member calls up or does it, calls up after hours or chatbots after hours, and it wants to know, a rule about something MLS, it would actually pull up that rule page and feed it back and give you that answer. So chatbots are probably one of the biggest growing areas in there that we see. AI-powered floor plans is another one in real estate. And I will tell you that, as I see days on market go up substantially in the marketplace over the last 24 months, and I look at the value of what I call rich media, which is things you connect in your actual listing that gets syndicated. So rich media would include floor plans that you do, virtual tours that you do, videos that you do. That's all rich media. And the power of rich media as it gets syndicated out to the internet is it gains an algorithm that home gets seen more. So when you talk about rich media and you have somebody speaking from a real estate portal, for example, they're going to speak about 20 million visitors, per year, 30 million per year. But then they're going to speak to what drives the property views. And the top property views are pictures, right? The more pictures you have, the stickiness is for the consumer. They're going to flip through those pictures, but it also weights within that portal. They want the homes with the most pictures in the top. They want the homes with the AI powered floor plans on the top, or the virtual tour on the top, because they rely on traffic and they know behavior of consumers. If it just went on based on address and the consumer gets to the portal and looks at a property they're interested in, and it's only got 3 pictures, right? And that's it. They're going to bounce to either another house or another portal. So these companies are smart. They weigh in their algorithm that says the properties or the listings that fit into a search criteria that have a lot of photos. So I say a lot, 35 or more, that have rich media, which is floor plans, virtual tours, and videos, will go to the top of that search, so that the consumer experience as they go there and they're flipping and they're scrolling get a better experience. And what they do is they suppress the other listings that have 10 photos, that has no rich media. So when agents come and talk, and we did TechCon a few months ago in March, and we had a long conversation with a couple agents asking why their property has less views than similar properties in that neighborhood. And I said, well, what's the difference, right? Because remember, the internet, depends how people set up their algorithm. The internet in general is set up so that you can reward good behavior. So if the portal wants more photos and rich media and a more robust description, they're going to reward it by giving it top position. So AI powered floor plans are one of those things that drive that. The other thing that drives that when you talk about rich media is drone photography. So homes that have drone photography tend to get, again, preferential treatment and put up to the top of these portals. So if you look at your listings, especially like a video drone coming in from a distance into the home and through the front door, people see that all over on the actual portals because they get preferential treatment to the top while others do not. Some other things that have nothing to do with listings that are driving some artificial intelligence in your business still is smart homes. They call it the Internet of Things. So when you have smart refrigerators, you have smart cameras, smart doorbells, smart lights, smart appliances, those descriptions that you're using, the word smart homes, these are things that people are searching for in the portals. These are things that people are searching for online. So do yourself a favor, if you've got those technologies in your homes that you're listing, make sure that you're being very robust in the description so that they get a lot of traction as they get out there. You want your properties to be seen. Um, Desktop appraisals, another thing that is being used for AI. If those of you that have been licensed a long time or here for the crash, at the time I was a practitioner, they would do basically desktop appraisals for some of the foreclosures and short sales for pricing strategies. With all the data that's out there again, artificial intelligence can do a desktop appraisal in literally 4 minutes, where it may take a practitioner, an appraiser, or a realtor or broker an hour to do a desktop appraisal. So it's saving a lot of money on that. NFTs and metaverse, we'll talk about that. But I do want to speak to virtual and augmented reality. I just came back from the Matrix User Group Conference in San Diego last week, and they have this whole idea of this augmented reality, right? So being able to put a set of goggles on and walk through a house. They're currently selling properties and high rises out throughout the entire country through augmented reality. And it's gotten so sophisticated that you can select what floor you want to be on in the building that's not been built yet. And it will give you the view from that floor out of the windows, depending on what unit you select. So augmented reality is there. It's interactive. People are using it to tour properties, like I said, in a lot of different areas. Developments using augmented reality to be able to walk neighborhoods of an after product. And that's all driven through artificial intelligence. So with that, I want to start going through here and sharing my screen with you. But I want to start out with talking about kind of what AI is and why is this even important to you as a practitioner. So, AI is basically taking over with regards to industry processes, not necessarily showing homes, right? I don't think we'll ever get to a point where it's going to be able to do more than streamline processes, enhance things that we're already doing, make it easier. So enhancing property valuations, improving customer experiences, giving people a different type of search experience on the actual platforms. I'm going to show you today live some of that stuff that's out there already that people are plugging into. So AI-powered tools being used for tasks ranging from property search and valuation to customer service, and even predictive analytics for market trends. So we spoke about that already, but that's what's happening in the industry. So I want to go ahead and share my screen with you and start diving into the tools that are being used today with regards to actual artificial intelligence. So a couple quick things here. This is the dashboard you all sign into every single day. I just want to highlight here a couple things on top, not to give you a commercial, but to highlight some things here that some people still don't know. So you can actually take your favorites here and actually add apps by going down to this area here, clicking here and say copy to favorites. Anything I got a heart next to is up here in my favorites. So you can actually put in here, I'm going to add on here, for example, row reports. Up on top, hit done. And then on the bottom here, row reports came up, as you'll see. So go ahead and customize this, make it yours. People talk about complaining about going on and scrolling. If there's things that you're using consistently, then go ahead and put them up on your favorites. So the first tool I'm going to talk to you today is going to be Agent 3000, which does use some AI built into it. And I think it's important to kind of know what options you have, because not one size fits all when it comes to artificial intelligence and writing property descriptions. So when we speak about efficiencies, the thing that comes to my mind is, how do I write a property description easier, or something that has more descriptive words in it, or is written as a professional marketer, somebody's gonna get attention, right, on the actual property itself. People do read. It is an absolute misperception that people don't read property descriptions at all. So let me pull this up here so we can pull it up. I'm going to quickly unplug my microphone and replug it in. I got the best audio possible. All right. So I'm going to point out kind of what the AI deal is here. And what you basically have is listing remarks and content editor. So two different things, which is the AI built into Agent 3000. So on this, you can do a very good property description. One of the things I will tell you from somebody that's in the MLS every single day, that basically is looking at properties every single day, it always amazes me on how, I'm going to use the word skimpy sometimes, the actual property descriptions are, because people do read it. And especially when you look at Southwest Florida, a lot of our people are looking at properties in different states. So they may not know some of the terminologies down here, right? So think about the customer doesn't know what a lanai is, right? but we use it all the time and we're just used to it. So we put in there lanai, and they're wondering what that is. Um, so, I think the more you can put in descriptions, the better. We currently have this set at 3,000 characters, which, some people say it's a lot. But if you're selling a home and you're selling lifestyle and you're selling the product inside the home, the smart home technology or the appliances or the upgrades or whatever it may be that you're selling, why not list them out? So that's one of the things that why we moved that forward is a lot of agents say, 1,000 characters is just not enough. And we agree. So we moved it and keep moving it. So now you've got enough there that's a blank slate to put as much information as you want. So with AI here for this, the cool thing is you can put this in different languages. So some people write the property description and they don't necessarily have to put this into the MLS. You can use this on Facebook. You can use it on LinkedIn. Last week when I was at the conference, I was speaking to an agent who started pushing she's got a team and she's got people on her team that speak different languages. She doesn't speak any languages herself except for English, but people on her team does. And she was able to write descriptions into Facebook ads that were in that native language and market to them. And she's improved in the last 2 years. She had 0 international clients, but had all these agents that would be a good fit for that were fluent in other languages, that were from other parts of the world, to almost 35% of her business coming now from international buyers. And it was all from posting on LinkedIn and Facebook and all these social medias using different languages. So one of the nice things, if you're going to post somewhere and and try to expand yourself out there, this is a great way to do it. If you got somebody in your team that can handle that customer, because again, just putting it out there and having that language does not mean that you can actually be effective with the customer necessarily. Although I will tell you, yesterday, um, I was at a restaurant, and the gentleman that was there was speaking to the lady at the front hostess counter, and he didn't speak any English. He was from Asia, and she pulled her phone out and did Google Translate with him and had him select what language he spoke. And they went back and forth, and he typed on her phone and went back and forth, had a complete conversation on a smartphone over Google Translate, which I thought I've never seen that. So, all right, moving along here. So you got word here, you can go by word count or characters. So again, count here. I think you're limited here to a certain amount, but I'm gonna put 500. And you could put here, again, you could put townhouses, city or community, put Fort Myers, bedrooms, you can put your bathrooms, garage type. So you got a lot of options here. If you've got a pool, so you've got the option here. I've got, I don't know why this isn't responding now. With all things not responding. All right. Hope we're back on here. For some reason. All right. I think we're back here. For some reason, we had a little bit of a shortage here. And we're not able to connect for a second. So All right, so back to this kitchen countertops, you have kitchen appliances, and you got floors. Other options you got, you can put on here pretty much anything you have. These are things I've already typed in here, so they're easy to use. But they do create listing remarks. You have to accept the terms, hit I agree, and it'll create your listing remarks. So that's it right there. You can copy your remarks and again, post it anywhere you wanted to on there. So it's pretty simple to go ahead and do that. Again, if I did Spanish with the same house, I can create a Spanish version of that. Hit agree. And again, it's going to come up and do that for you. So there you go. So this is a way that you could easily take through artificial intelligence and do this. But again, I said you've got options in ways to do it. Okay. And so the next phase on listings, which I'm going to switch gears here just a little bit and exit out of Agent 3000 and completely close it out. And I'm going to go up here to the actual MLS and matrix. Because I want to speak to this as well as we look at, the actual process of uploading photos and photo tagging and those types of things. And you look at the actual listings itself. Respi AI is a program we bought into probably about 18 months ago. And although we're only in phase 1 right now, which is basically your photos, phase 2 is about to do the same thing I just showed you, but on a much grander scale, which is create your listing descriptions based off pictures. Okay. So that is coming here very shortly. So if you've got a listing on here, and I don't have any listings in here, obviously, yeah, I've got nothing in here to show you, but on there, you'll be able to upload your photos. If you do add new listing, let's just do search. So we're going to fill it in one of these. It'll be completely deleted anyways. But what I wanted to show you is that this is incomplete. Hit submit listing. And then I can actually go ahead and edit the photos. I can browse my photos here. And AI generate descriptions on photo upload. Again, you've got this already in here. And you can do any of this stuff and edit any of it before you save it. So you've got this already built in to it. Respi AI, the next thing will be from the photos doing a description, okay? And that release will be in probably Q4 coming up. But what if you don't want to wait? What if you want to start doing your listing descriptions now? You can do that directly in Copilot. So and again, there's different Chat GPT is one of them, Copilot, all these Gen AI type softwares. There's a lot of them out there. There's the big ones. Apple's got one. Whatever you're comfortable with. I'm just using this because I'm on a Windows machine as I do this, and I'm logged into Microsoft 365 anyways. So M365 Copilot is where I'm at. So what I can do here is put basically a prompt, and you can Google Copilot, M365 Copilot. You will have to have an account with it, which is typically a Microsoft account. Google has one as well. So if you're a Google user and you want to do Google, you can surely do that as well. And that has its own built-in AI that you'll find. So, you can build any one of these out that you want and do. So they both will do the same. I'm going to use Copilot. I'm already logged into that. Okay. So I'm going to put some prompts in here. I'm going to put in here, create a professional listing description for this kitchen for the MLS. Very simple. And I'm going to add my picture. Okay, upload from device. There's my kitchen picture right there. I'm going to open it. I'm going to put it in there. And I'm going to hit send. And then Copilot's going to go ahead and do its listing description. Now, this is kind of something where I'm going to show you what you can do on this. Now, this is a lot of stuff on here, right? So you got beautiful design, open concept kitchen, da da da. I'm going to put in here, create professional listing description for this home. And I'm going to add in here, I'm move some stuff out of my way. I'm going to add in here a picture of the elevation of the home. That's my front elevation, right? And I'm going to go ahead and send it. So Copilot's doing that. And this is what it did, right? So gave me a great description for it. And then last, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to say, create a professional listing description for this bathroom. I'm going to put my bathroom picture in here. And I'll show you why I'm doing all three of these, because notice it only does, and there's some of these folks that you'll be able to do multiple pictures. ChatGPT, if you do the professional version, will let you upload up to 10 pictures. In which case you can say, write me a listing description based on these 10 pictures. If you don't want to spend the money on it, and you just want to do a Copilot account, simple account, here you go, right? So you have these individual ones. Now, the cool thing is, as you go up here, I can take this description here, and I can actually go all the way down, hit copy. And I'm going to say here, I'm going to say, write a professional listing description using this content as a base. Okay. I'm going to paste in here that portion there. I'm going to paste in the bathroom portion and the kitchen portion. So you can do all of it into one, right? So I'm going to start where I ended there, hit paste. That's got my other thing there. Now my kitchen went away, so I had a problem with it, whatever. So I'm just going to do it here. So this is the two listing descriptions combined. Okay. And if that top one in the kitchen didn't go away, we had a problem up here. Something went wrong. Please try again later. If I didn't have that happen, I did the kitchen as well. And I've got a pretty robust listing description done for me in 3 seconds by typing a couple of prompts and uploading a couple of pictures. Again, if you want to do this using ChatGPT, the last time I saw their fees were like $60 a month. It can do a whole lot of stuff for you, but this is one thing. You can also upload 10 pictures. I'm only allowed in this account 1 picture at a time. I can upgrade my Copilot account to do more. And as you use ChatGPT or Copilot, whatever, I would pay at first, see if you use it, see if you like it. Okay, because you're going to want to tweak this out here to make it yours. Over time, as you're using these tools, it will be accustomed to who you are. And all these chats, that call them chats, that you do over time, they'll remember you, your personality, what you like to look for, what you like to have redone. If you have something that's not done right, tell it to redo it and add this to it. It's going to start to get to be trained and get to know you, so that at the end of the day, it will become kind of an extension of you as an assistant, if you will. But use it first before you upgrade. If you get the upgrade button here, I'm just gonna pull up pricing right here. You buy a license. I guess you buy a license. I got a license already on this, but you can upgrade it. There's ways to do it. and pay for it. But I would tell you use a free version first. No reason to pay for something you're not going to use. Notice the detail here, though. Notice it talks about contemporary white vanity with a polished undermount sink and chrome fixtures and ample cabinetry for both beauty and practicality. This is a great description, right? You can add into your prompt, make it fair housing compliant. Make it fair housing compliant. There's a lot of things you can add in there in your prompts to help you with it. But you saw how easy it was. I just made something up, and I've got now a description that probably marvels most that are out there every single day, right? It talks about natural light pouring through their glass enclosed shower, rainfall shower head. All this stuff is correct. It has all that stuff, and it picked it up all from the photos. Once RESP is integrated into our system for this portion of it, you'll get emails. I'm sure we'll do some training on it. But until then, you guys can use either Copilot or you can use ChatGPT or Google's version of it to do property descriptions. But it's kind of a cool thing as you look at this. So, all right. So I'm going to move on here. Got rid of 83,000. And I want to move on to row reports. So that this is one of the newest technologies we've got, and it is based on AI. This whole system that they built is all AI based. Some of you are probably wondering, people are walking behind me on the 5th floor. They got scaffolding and they're painting the building I'm in. So this is where you would go, you log into. So row reports on your dashboard is down here, the RR. What's really cool about this is they're pulling data from multiple places. And it's a great tool if you're going to go in and do a listing presentation and actually sit in front of a consumer. Nobody can argue it doesn't do you the best, I guess the best part is showing up, right? You're going to show up knowing what's going on with that home. You should show up knowing what's going on in that home and everything about it. So there are a couple different reports that they have. But first, we want to establish what house we're looking at, right? So it's going to give you a map. You're going to have to basically go around here and find out where the house is or put the address in. So for my case study, I'm going to go ahead and pull something out of Gateway. I used to live out there, and I also, I'm way up there in Punta Gorda. I'm like, where am I at? I used to live out there and also sold out there back in the day. So I'm going to pick this house, okay? And it says get the row report. So again, if you have an address, you can do it. If you've got a map, you can do it, right? You want what the neighbors' houses are, right? So if you're doing a listing presentation, first I would tell you that I want to go through the differences of reports here. But you have 3 different reports. These are included. So part of your dues for MLS subscription includes all this, okay? So you got the Aid and AI Advisor on here, the basic version. American Community Survey, you get age estimation valuation, gives you a value on it. Your remarks, air quality, climate data, congressional districts, crime stats, electricity, solar estimates, elevation, environmental ratings, flood insurance, flood zones, hazardous sites and facilities, historical disasters, HVAC estimates, internet speeds, national forests, nearby schools, public housing, property photos, weather, valuations of the 3 of them, wetlands, and wind turbines. So there's a whole lot of information that comes on the free report. Okay. If you're working with a buyer, okay, you see that the buyer report is typically 15. With your subscription with Florida Gulf Coast MLS, we got that price down to 10. Okay. And so you can buy that individually. If you've got a buyer that says, I want to write a contract on this home, you may want to get this report as part of your value add to your customer to provide to them. at the point to actually write the contract. So for $10, this is going to give you AI document analysis. So this is kind of a cool thing. Your buyer's probably going to do a home inspection. If you drop the home inspection into the buyer AI advisor, the document analysis AI advisor, it's going to give you executive summary of that report. So a lot of these reports are 80 pages to 120. People used to laugh and say they're called deal killers. This will take it down to an executive summary standpoint that you'll break it down to one page, right? And pick out the really scary stuff and highlight that. AI photo analysis, alternative fueling stations. So that's your electronic vehicle stuff, climate zones, conforming loan limits. So if somebody's got a conforming loan they want to do, defensive sites, fair market rents. Somebody's doing a property that is a actual investment. It's going to do a rent analysis. Okay. Fire hazards, leak capture on here, location information, mineral gas, but there's a ton of stuff on here. Permits, power plants, etc. So again, the buyer side, there's that. I have a couple of hands that are up. I'm gonna take some questions in a minute. And then you got everything in the buyers for the seller plus HOA information, home program activity, liens on the house, loan history. So if I was going to do a listing presentation, I'd spend the $20. I'm in front of that customer. These are all things that I'd want to know prior to walking over the threshold at home as a listing agent, right? Knowledge is power. So again, this is what you get for $20. It's $10 off the original price. Maggie, if you want to put your question in the Q&A section at the bottom. I know I see a couple hands up. For those who have questions, throw them in the bottom of the in the Q&A or throw it in the chat. So these are the basic reports. You got your snapshot, which is basic. Pull those up on any property you want. Again, I would probably, if I was a listing agent, pay the $20 for the house that I'm listing, and then probably do snapshot of either side of their neighbors. All right. Thank you, Maggie. So again, snapshots are valuable. And that's what I'm going to run on this property I just pulled up, just to kind of give you what the deal is. So that's it right there. I'm going to go ahead and continue. It's doing its report, compiling data. This company pulls 40 different report types, combines them, uses AI for that. This is also going to be branded for you. And after you have the report, you can always go back and upgrade. So you can do the base report first. It's going to give you a photo. This is going to be the Google photo of the home. So you've got that first. But then just look at all the stuff it's going to give you here. You can add your own valuation, right? Your own opinion value. This is third party, has everywhere between 1.1 to 1.4 on the valuation. It's all third party with the average being 1.323. And if you have questions on how it's calculated, AVMs, etc., right there. So these are based on a couple different sources, and I love the fact they put the confidence score in there and the source. So this is Melissa data, it's 84%. They're saying the valuation is 1.158. This one here has got sources other, it's 90% confident. It's got the valuation 1.373. This one is 88% confidence. It's also another source, 1.429. So again, valuation there. Noise, got 95 out of 100. Car dependent for walkability, 23 out of 100. And then bike is 33 out of 100. Schools, it's got all the schools listed here with the type of charter it's got. You can tell how far it is, the phone numbers, etc. So it gives all that information. It's got all the utilities. This is kind of a cool thing. Holding costs and affordability right now is important to most buyers. I've got a very young cousin who her and her husband just bought their first house a couple of weeks ago in Wisconsin. And, you know, it's all these little things like, you know, electrical costs. Here it's saying it's $302 a month. And it's annually $36.28. Estimated total electricity usage is 50,167 kilowatt hours a year. So again, what the price per kilowatt hour is much different here than is anywhere in the country. So again, this goes into solar estimates, HVAC estimates, okay, and then internet and the speeds of internet. So if somebody's looking to, you know, obviously buy a house, if they're working from home, what's their speed of internet? So you get the different ones that are available for that property. Flood, current cost of flood insurance, and then the base insurance for risk-based. The flood zone type, which is X, area of minimal flood hazard, study ID. Then it goes into temperature here as well. You go into resilience. And then this is kind of cool, area resilience. So obviously, you know, cold wave, we have a very low on all this. Wildfires, lightning, right? Hurricane, relatively high on lightning. So kind of tells you those types of things. And those are from FEMA, NWS, and some others. Talks about radon and air quality. And then nearby hazardous facilities. So gives you those types of things that hazardous. And then census data. Again, age, median income. And this is crime trends here. It's from the FBI. So this gives you a lot of information, a lot of data that you can pull. And again, this is a report you can pull on any property. I mean, if when you're talking about the industry today versus 12 months ago, which I would say, you know, we're post settlement now, pre-settlement prior, it's important to bring value to your customer. And I do orientation here every single month. And now I'm a consumer, then looking at houses. What is your value proposition to your actual buyer? If this is part of what you provide them for all the houses they're going to look at as part of the consideration and buying process, you know, I know I've been with Realtors as a purchaser who handed me a basic, you know, front and back of a MLS 360 report or customer report with pictures. And that's what I got, right? If I had something like this, does that not build more confidence into that consumer? So setting yourself apart from your competition, I think is important, and be able to use these reports. These are great, valuable reports that you have access to. And again, there are the upgrades, but for the most part, this is a really good, solid start of information with regards to the property you may be looking at or showing. So, but that is row reports on that. So, I want to also share with you, this is Cubicasa. So we talked about in the beginning here, rich media and the importance of rich media. I got a couple of questions here. Let me answer here. Question is Henry in Charlotte County. Yes. So just because you're here, they have access to all the properties, millions and millions and millions, you know, of properties throughout. So it doesn't matter. They're pulling this data as a whole. So all this data is coming from third-party companies. So yes, it covers Henry, covers Glades, covers Charlotte County. We are the only MLS in the area that's got this today, as far as row reports are concerned. So again, going up against a competitor that's on another MLS, I would bring in that salary report all day long to provide that extra value. All right, so we talked about rich media in the beginning, and I go back to this, and we kind of circle full circle here. This is something you get absolutely no cost to you, okay? And if you go into your Royal Palm Florida Gulf Coast MLS here. Cubic Casa is right here. You're simply going to click on it. Cubic Casa is the floor plan company, and it's an app on your phone. And what you're going to do is you're going to go here and say sign up, scan and done, or log in. If you already got an account, you're going to log into it. If not, you're going to sign up. So again, I don't have an account, but once you do, all your floor plans will be there. And you can, when I say you can literally scan a house in 10 minutes, we scanned the entire office at the Cape Coral office last year in about 10 minutes. And that was a large building that was almost 4,000 square feet plus. It does do great measurements. It's pretty accurate. And again, you got to cover your bases, talk to your broker about the verbiage you need to use with regards to measurements. People have found inches off, not feet. But your phone today, if you took your phone and you went out, you can measure a room with that as well. I would say this is as accurate, if not more. But it's super, super easy to use. You're going to sign up, log in, download the app, and literally pull up the app on your phone, and it uses your camera, and all you do is walk around the entire room and the entire house with that phone, and it was going to give you a free floor plan. Again, rich media, attach it to your listing. It's unbranded. Attach it to your listing so that when it gets syndicated out, your listing gets booted to the top of the portals. Again, you and I all know that the more eyeballs you have on a home, the bigger the audience you can give your property, the more likelihood is to sell to that right buyer. So putting rich media in your property, into your actual listing is good. So it is the fastest floor plan app. Again, you're already included in your dues on this. Again, I will say it's not a commercial, but there is upgrades if you want to do some upgrades with this. And by the way, we've got vendors that have sponsored events for us that are photography companies that are getting on board with Cubic Casa. For one is Next Door Photos. They sponsor both of the TechCon conventions, a couple of breakfasts, golf tournament, etc. They do a fantastic job. They actually also, I think, use Cubic Casa floor plans. So you'll have some of your vendors use this as well. But this is something you can do on your phone yourself, PDF it, and put it up into your documents, into your listing. So again, rich media is where the game is going. If you want to get exposure, you're going to hear me say that another 10 times. All right, so this is already included. The last cool thing I want to show you is something that I was brought into last week at the conference I was in. It's something that we're looking at. But I wanted to kind of show you this because I think it's kind of cool. So this is the same kitchen I had before that we did the description on. It's the same picture of that home, of that kitchen. And this is a company called Roomvo, Roomvo, that integrate with multiple listing services. Okay. So I want to show you the potential and where things are going. This is not part of something, but I want to show you some cool things. So I'm going to get another picture of that kitchen from another angle. I'm going to take it from that angle and open that up. It's going to go ahead and it's going to add some touching up. But there is that actual home right there, right? That kitchen. So they basically already did some stuff to this picture, right? So I'm going to go ahead and reset. There you go. So this is what it looks like. This is the actual home. But if I wanted to see what it would look like, I would go up here to floors, and I want to do a Dry Lake, California floor on it. And I click on that, and it's going to install that floor across the board. If I don't like that, I can put Time Warp in there as well. So this is for when you're selling a property and people don't necessarily cannot reimagine that home or that house themselves, and they see it, it's a lot of work. Well, what if you just threw some some stony gray brushed engineered flooring in there. Well, what would that change look to? And then it does. And then countertops, one of my favorites here, right? So they're currently all white granite. I could put gray in there. And it'll load up all gray countertops. Maybe I want to put some color, not be all white. There you go with that. There's some Romani tile. So again, you can look at this house and then say, as a consumer, right, this is what it would look like. Here's the potential you have with your home. Okay. We do floors, we add rugs, countertops. The other thing we do is walls. So maybe it's, changing the color. We don't like the color of the walls. So they're going to be able to change the color. We don't like that's too light. We want to go a little bit darker. So all this is that quick, that fast. This is just a demo of it. But when I saw, I'm like, okay, this makes a lot of sense for the homes that maybe have been lived in for a long time and now being sold. Not a lot of updates to it, and they maybe want to update the property. This gives them an idea of this. So this is something that we're in deep consideration with the vendor. This would integrate with the actual One Home app, because it's really meant for that consumer experience so that they can play with this at their house, right? The realtor sends them a bunch of properties through One Home, the portal, and then they're able to go ahead and redesign to how they want it, based on changing out counters, walls, wall decor, etc. But yeah, this is real. This is this is out there right now. Just add that picture right there for me. What would it look like with some different art. So this is real. This is right now, and this is the same technology used for virtual staging and those types of things with it. So, all right, we'll go here and look at some questions. Questions on that. But this will be brought to the MLS committee, just so you all understand. If you are, a couple of shameless plugs real quick. We are having a member breakfast. I believe it is on the 13th. Let me check my calendar real quick here. Yes, I believe it is. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 11th. Friday the 11th. If you haven't signed up for the breakfast, sign up. We are doing our committee showcase there. And the committee showcase, we've got some people from the MLS committee. And this is where all these ideas come from. The MLS gets to vet a lot of stuff, a lot of cool technology and software. And then it goes to finance as a financial implication, and then the board of directors, and then back to my team for implementation. But this is something we'll bring to the MLS committee, not tomorrow, which is our next meeting, but in August probably, to look at a possible demo of this so they can see it, because it's kind of cool. So if you want to get involved, that's the way to get involved. The MLS committee, it's a great opportunity to kind of shape the future of what happens and what we're doing. So we are super excited about that. So we're in conversation with them. Hopefully make something work with it and bring this to market, but it's out there. It's happening right now. It just got launched last month on the One Home portal. So hopefully we'll be part of that launch as well. So with that, that's the last part I wanted to kind of show you that we've got for AI. I've got a couple of questions here that came through. Let me go through and answer some of these. All right. Yes, Maggie, you should be. All right. So yes, so that's a shameless plug for that. Hopefully it's taught you something. And if you play around with Chat GPT or Copilot, it's not the boogeyman. A lot of people say, well, we're worried about it. There's this whole movie, The Terminator, years ago, AI. It's not like that, folks, but it's not going away. You look at what's happening here with AI, with redesigning rooms. When you look at what's happening with AI and just virtual staging, if you look at virtual staging 2 years ago and how everything looked distorted and didn't look like it fit in that room or it was part of it, you could tell. The photos today are so realistic that you can't tell it's been virtually staged. they're that good at what they're doing with the AI stuff now. And if I took this picture and downloaded it and showed people that saw the before picture, that they just thought I painted the walls, replaced the flooring, and replaced the cabinets or the countertops rather. You can't really tell that I created that with AI. So the technology is doing nothing but getting better. The conference I was at with the Matrix user group last week proved that. They're starting their own core AI program in which they're going to be bringing out some more AI stuff. We're using AI in compliance. Where AI is going out and checking words and phrases to identify if somebody's putting compensation in MLS or somebody's doing a self-promotion or any of that type of stuff. All of our photos are scanned with AI for compliance. So they get through, and so you don't put, Jason's real estate company on a sign and take a picture of it. That's a violation. And the reason it is a violation, we always ask why, is we want a level playing field for everybody. And so we don't allow any kind of promotional photograph, pictures of signs or anything. So we do use AI for that already. That's even getting more accurate. Our what we call false positives have gone way down because the technology is just improving that much better right now. So go out and get yourself a Copilot or Google account or ChatGPT. Use real reports to your advantage. I mean, show up. Use these technologies to write your descriptions. And remember, rich media is where your property will get the most exposure. We've done side-by-side comparisons. We've got some agents that are really fanatical about the virtual tour, and they do the floor plan and all this rich media on the same block with another house that's actually better priced, actually updated in some cases. When you look at views online, the one with the rich media outperforms it by 3 times. So again, I know that things are sitting longer. I know that customers are calling on why, right? You got to check and see if you've done those things to add that rich media attached to it. So we'll continue to make sure we give you free things that are going to help you with that. I appreciate everybody. Have yourself a fantastic day. Joanna will be back next week. She's on vacation this week. But have a great, fantastic week. Have a great 4th of July and be safe out there. And if you need anything, give us a ring. Thank you.